centers. We
Absolutely.
improve it so that these political office holders can also make use of these facilities. Because what if there's something that happens, like the lockdown that we experienced? What happened? Where did they go to get
Mm-hmm.
their medicals? What those are things that get people talking. But then also, I mean, there's been really sad news stories as well. Fresh Plateau onslaught claims 20, injures several. That's a very sad news story as far as security concerns is concerned. Well, this is still the newspaper review on Your Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. And it is currently 21 minutes to 8. Joining us first up this morning is our analyst, Buki Femi Ajala. Good morning to you, Buki.
Yes, good morning. Good morning, newspaper review family, and of course WFM family. And yeah, we have sent our condolences, and we'll keep sending as the opportunity presents itself. More so that it's just 24 hours. Well, yes, less than 24 hours. The body was laid 5:50, 5:50 p.m. Yeah, so we still have to, sympathize with the family because it's a grieving moment, even for not just for the family but also for the nation, and also those who love him outside of the nation. Yeah, yesterday was a time of reflection, for me personally. And I mean, the people that I had meetings with yesterday, I had to tell them it's a time of reflection that what can be said of us, after we depart, what can be said of us. Did we make impact or we did not make impact, but um, we just want to wish everybody well. And once again, I want to say good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us, Buki Femi Ajala. Of course, it's been a news story that's everywhere, concerning the death of the former president. And, we'll say it again, may he so rest in peace. We'll be reviewing some of the papers this morning, a couple of headlines that we're looking at. And I want to start with this one that has to do with women empowerment, which of course is something that we stand for right here on Women Radio 91.7. Anyone who's actually listened to our news stories will know that we are all out for putting the stories that pertain to women centric stories. And we'll start with this one that says, okay, something is being done to better empower women. This you would find from the Punch newspaper. It reads, Lagos unveils 500 billion naira MSME fund for women traders. In a move to empower small businesses and informal sector women traders, the Lagos state government has unveiled a 500 billion naira fund for micro, small, and medium enterprises with a special focus on women. The announcement was made during the Lagos leg and grand finale of the ECOWAS Caravan 2025, a regional campaign aimed at supporting women in cross-border trade across West Africa. Now, a Tuesday statement noted that the Commissioner for Commerce, Cooperatives, Trade and Investment, Folashade Ambrose Medebem, said the fund, approved by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is matched by an additional 500 billion naira from the Bank of Industry, creating a 1 trillion naira financing pool. In a word, this fund is non collateralized, including a 6-month moratorium, and offers a 0% interest window for cooperative backed informal businesses. It is a strategic effort to support women who dominate the informal trade space along the Lagos West Africa corridor. The closing ceremony of the ECOWAS Caravan 2025 was held at the Federal Palace Hotel in Victoria Island, and it was launched by the ECOWAS Community of West African States. The caravan journey through Abidjan, Lomé, Cotonou, and Lagos, spotlighting the challenges that women face in cross-border trade, ranging from harassment at borders to limited access to finance and information. I mean, we're seeing more empowerment options now for women as far as their businesses are concerned. Tell me, Buki, for you, this would be a big one because it's something you also support. But then also, lots of people would want to know the follow up to ensuring that these necessary individuals who are targeted are reached beyond just a particular facet of women.
Yes, I totally agree with that. I can only say that this is an improvement from where we are. A dedicated um, float, for women. And to be honest, most of the banks, are actually they have women desk, and they have been supporting, not just in giving finance, because in when you are into entrepreneurship businesses, it's not everything that it's around money. It could be structure, it could be processes, um, embracing technology. For instance, WIDB is massively training women on digital businesses, So, but I know that access to capital is a critical factor. It helps in your production of in getting infrastructure, your machines, your equipment, and at times, for stock inventory and also for cash flow, at times. So we understand that part. And when you even look at the statistics, women have been laid back a bit, in terms of the fact that over time they have found out that even when they go, to access this money, there are always blocks, and particularly when it comes to collateral, some of them do not even have, which is a cultural issue, and some do have, and you're right. And then, of course, you find out that even in terms of their bookkeeping and things like that, they have found ones. And that's why I said it's not just about money, but also about structured businesses. And to be honest, a whole lot of banks are doing, they're helping out, trying to ensure that women are heavily positioned. So now that they have done that, now the issue is yes, where is the money? So I think this is a good one. I don't think I know it's a good one, and that one will ensure that we ramp up the numbers. I mean, they're looking at this corridor, which is very good, because by the statistics from National Bureau, it says that 40% of businesses in Nigeria are owned, by women. So we need to wrap up, and this dovetails into our GDP as well, and by the Lagos State Trust Fund, I mean they've been able to come up with the statistics that female entrepreneurs, they contribute 35% of employment generation. So can we have more? Because we are looking at our statistics of unemployment, right? So if we can have more women, you know, doing the real business, scaling up, because for you to scale up from where you are, nano to micro to small, you need access to funding. So this is a very good one. The only thing I would say is the fact that let us know the processes. Let it be seamless, in terms of the hurdles you have to cross. What are the things you must have? So don't just tell us, oh, we have 1 billion accessible, but also tell us what are the requirements. Yes, you talked about the 6-month moratorium. You talked about the fact that I think for those who come through the cooperative, it's real interest, based on what I read. But beyond that, where do they access it from? Is it that they will go to BOI, or where? Or you are setting up another organ? The women need to know. And also, what are the qualifications? You must let us know, right? That okay, yes, you've talked about the small and medium, and those are the people you are looking at, but then their characteristics. Some of them are just held by one person. Some of them will probably have one staff, because the medium, small, they all have their categories, either in terms of staff that you have or in terms of your holdings that you have. But whatever it is, they still operate small. But to be honest, they are the ones that are driving the economy of the nation. So it's critical they look at that. So what are their characteristics? What do you expect them to bring? What is the process? You know, you must now tell us, you move from here. Once you submit this and this and this, you move from here. So within 2 weeks, 1 week, you will get your your money disbursed to you, and things like that, so that everybody is clear. It's not that, oh, there's 1 billion, but then who is feeling it? And like you rightly said, some people would have the information, but the people who really need it do not have the information. So they need to break that. But I think I love what I hear. I love what I read, and I think it's a good one. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Boki. Some of the concerns that you did raise, another thing I also thought too was awareness as well. How many women are well aware of such opportunities like this. Well, the Director General of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Dr. Chinyere Mona, praised the state's financial commitment and urged further investment in local language training hubs and digital platforms to streamline border procedure from Oyigbo to Mile 2 to Balogun. Lagos is full of women entrepreneurs keeping West Africa's food systems and informal economy alive. They deserve simplified trade protocols and access to institutional support. If you've just tuned in, this is Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's first and only radio station for men and their families. I am Miracle Philip, and I have with me Buki Femi Ajala, our analyst this morning, as we get to take a look at these papers together. Of course, the conversations are making the rounds everywhere. Also replete with, the burial ceremony of the late president of Nigeria. We're talking about Muhammadu Buhari, who's been laid to rest. And we have a couple of comments here in line with that. Olushoga Ajayi from Ikorodu says, no escort went with Buhari, no convoy, no presidential jet, just him and his deeds. Be humble in life. All man shall return to dust. No matter your powers and fame, RIP. Posterity will judge you rightly. May his gentle soul rest in peace. All right. We also have another message. Yeah,
Yeah, we
Rosenje.
do. Um,
Okay, I'll take that one there. And this is okay.
Good morning, dear presenter. The oil marketers' arrogance and preference for suffering of the common Nigeria is evident in their protest against Dangote ref,
Refinery.
refinery whenever it mauls the idea of slashing petrol, diesel, and cooking gas prices. Federal government should do something urgently to clip the wings of these evil Nigerians who never want peace for the common man. Bad followers will never produce good leaders. Nigeria will survive. Allah bless Nigeria. Rosenje Olawale Mutio from Alakpere. Thank you so much.
Okay, we also have this message from Barrister Ugo Suji from Festac. It says, good morning, Women Radio 91.7, presenter Miracle Philip, Fumi, and our analyst, Buki Femi Ajala. Final salute. Nigerians bade former President Muhammadu Buhari farewell. Nice one. Hope there was 21 gun salutes for the late warlord that helped chase away the first fundamentalist Islamic jihadist Maitanzi during the former President Shehu Shagari in 1983. Now, Femi Additional saying that Buhari would have long died if he had used Nigerian hospital remains a very probing question that had put in handcuffs and relegate Nigerian citizens' thoughts to the background about healthcare system in Nigeria. That are forestated by Femi Additional, former special advisor to President Buhari on media, is a prompter that made our rulers, nay leaders, to love dying in overseas hospitals to be ferried home as cargoes in body bags, hence damnable and an anathema. Let that music play on, for one day it may be sufficing. God Almighty will endow Nigerians with a good leader one day that will be a paradigm shift as famed Nelson Mandela that served South Africa both in prison and as president died in a South African hospital. On the continuing upsurge of bandits and terrorists killing the indigenous people of Plateau State, hope General Gowon is still alive. Must the Plateau uh, indigenous people continue to pray as all power belongs to God? No, no, no. In legal parlance, we have it written in black and blue, nay white, that not all battles are for God Almighty. Speak out, are for God Almighty, as some are for lawyers. Let this elder statesman, General Gowon, speak out as if he shouts, the way of Jericho must definitely collapse on Plateau State, and the flesh a la blood of the culprits will be revealed.
Okay, we have one more from Mayor from Ikotun Igbe. He says, good morning to everyone in the studio. Day 4 now. Nigerians have not drank water, drop cup, because of one man called Buhari. Please, is the death of Buhari more important than thousands of people killed on daily basis and many are scattered all over Nigeria in IDP camps? While the evil men that put us in this mess are in Katsina celebrating one of their members. The media is the one promoting this evil man. Please, all this nonsense has to stop now. Let us join hands together and push for electoral reforms so that we can push out this evil party away come 2027.
All right, and we have here from Mrs. Oboli from Ikorodu says, good morning, ladies. My heartfelt condolences to the late former President Buhari's family and the nation at large. I find Mr. Femi additional statement not only dehumanizing and insulting to the people of the country, but also satirical, and I'll view this unscrupulous statement from two angles. It's a shame that someone in that level can utter such statements, knowing fully well how insensitive that statement will come across Nigerians. The satirical part of this statement begs the question: why was it that in the 8 years of President Buhari's tenure, no significant change or overhaul was achieved in the medical sector? None whatsoever. He only exposed the past administration's inability to fix that sector or even the economy for 8 whole years. The insultive angle to this utterance is that this was purposely done so that the common man would be bound to the Philistines because we can't access medical tourism or treatment overseas the way the political elites do with taxpayers' money. Are they not also responsible for the brain drain and moribund hospital buildings? Why do they rub these things in our faces? Lastly, these deaths, late Oba Adetona and late President Buhari's death, is a pointer to the shortness of life, that nothing lasts forever. While we sojourn here on earth, do the right thing as you leave your indelible footprints in the sands of time. Thanks for your analysis this morning.
We have this one from Rosenje Olawale Mutiu from Alapere. Good morning, dear presenter. An average Nigerian commenter draws his or her comments from sentiments and emotion. Senator Akpabio will only be said to have disobeyed court order if he didn't appeal it. Both Senator Natasha and Akpabio have skeletons in their cupboards and should come out clean on this case, rather than waste public funds in court cases and waste Nigerians' time. Bad followers will never produce good leaders. Nigeria will survive. Allah bless Nigeria.
All right. And finally, from Heforosage from Ijuru, it says, Women Radio, the reason why our political leaders always go to abroad for medical treatment is because those hospitals are built by angels. The truth is that whether you go to Jericho for any treatment, when it's time for anyone to die, he or she will. They should stop deceiving themselves. Well, Nigerians, let's also get to hear from you via the phone lines 07000 917 917 or 9155 917 917. Our toll free number is currently unavailable this morning, and we're trying all we can to resolve this so that we can have our ladies joining. But then, our ladies, you can actually do well to reach us on the other lines. But if you do want to send a text or a WhatsApp message, the phone line is 08155 917 917 0703 175 6537. Those are the lines to reach us this morning. Bookie, I would like for you to comment on that statement made by Femi Additional and, what your thoughts are as well.
Yes, it was a careless statement. I mean, there was no, I don't know use that word. When someone at that position, makes statements like that, he might come back to say, oh, he did not think it through. He was only saying that we still had him on for a longer time because he had proper health care attention over there. And then he's also justifying it, which we already know that even before he was president, I mean, like, that was what was mentioned to us, right? That even before he was president, he was going for his medical attention. Yes, he was using his money. I mean, if you're using your money, no wahala. But when you now become a state figure, where your medical bills, your health, it's now being sponsored by taxpayers' money, and the taxpayers themselves, are not receiving, the retreatment you're supposed that you now want to be having. There is an imbalance somewhere. I mean, it was for me. It was an unguarded statement. I know we'll come back to come and say one or two things why he mentioned that, but let's look at it holistically. At this point in time, should our leaders, in quote, or even those who have the means, you know, to do okay, if you have the means, it's fine. But those who are spending, their welfare, their health and everything, should we at this point in time not begin to take a critical look at our health sector and even make it a money spinning thing? Aside from the fact that these people go there for health, another thing that draws them there is the fact that it's the environment, right? It's the environment. You go on the streets, you have the light, everything works. It's a system that works, right? So can we begin to look at that? Let us even start from our hospitals, right? Can anybody go in there and feel happy in terms of even environment within the hospital, right? Can we? And then, of course, the people, a whole lot of our our medical students, hear them. Once they graduate and they have that opportunity to go, they go. Why? They are looking at one, the infrastructure, the equipment. We don't have all it takes. Then they are also looking at their own welfare in terms of their salary and everything that they need to, right? And then of course the way the government is also treating them. And for them over there, they treat them well. So can we begin to look at these things and begin to profile solutions to them? Even if you're going to have different tiers of hospitals, the most important thing is that somebody will be comfortable to say, you know what, I will stay here. Well, Oshibaja did something. I don't know if that continues, but because I know that when he was here, right?
Okay.
I mean, when he was the vice president, he went to one of the hospitals here. Though it's pricey, no doubt about that. But yes, we do understand because of the things you would ensure you have there. I'm sure they'll have dedicated doctor, dedicated nurse, and then the environment. What you see will also make you happy, will also make you, quick, you recover fast, fast. So I think they need to begin to look at that. And that's why I said, for every leader, one day you will be lowered. Look at the way Buhari was lowered. In fact, they even removed the Nigerian flag, because when you get there, it is now you and God. It's not an issue of, okay, you're from Nigeria. They removed the flag. That what have you done? Those who are in the position of changing things, those who are in the position, and it's not just the government. I keep saying this thing. When you point one finger, three fingers are pointing at you. In your own sphere of influence, in your own area where you can make influence, what are you doing? I
All
think
right.
that should be what we
Thank you
should be
very
looking
much,
at.
Boogie. Let's take this
Thank
call
you.
here. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, 3 minutes after 8 on your Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. And it is the newspaper review. You can get to reach us via our phone lines.
Zero 07000 Our toll free number
It's
is
on our,
currently
yeah.
unavailable, so we're working on it. So
Okay.
please bear with us. But you can text us or WhatsApp us on 08155 and 07031
All right. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Miracle, once again.
Oh, good morning. Welcome back, Francis.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. One thing I want to say is that we should stop this attitude of giving farewell to the dead who did not even make peace with his God when he was alive. And we are saying that gentle soul rest in peace. There's no soul that will rest in peace after death if you do not make peace with your creator. So let us stop that attitude. Take away don't die. And nobody knows his account with God. Take away don't die. If we want to feel sorry for the dead, because it is inevitable, it's for everybody. You do that. Let us stop saying let his peace, let our peace, rest in peace. In our heart, he said, so rest in peace. God is not permit that. So if you do not make peace with God before you die, you can never have peace with God or in any way you are.
All
That's
right.
my
All right. Thank you very much, Francis. And, I understand your position really, but, we do not know whether or not they make peace with God. So we can only wish them the best. I mean, whether it's the poor man on the streets or the rich leader on the top, may their souls rest in peace at whatever time death meets them. So please, we are not in any place to be God. Okay, so let's take this call here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Olusegun. I'm calling from Maryland.
You're welcome, Olusegun. How is the road? How is
Okay.
Maryland this morning?
Yes, it's a bit fair. It's a bit fair. Today will be like Monday just because of public holiday of yes.
Okay. Glad to know. Thank you.
So my contribution is about what Femi Adesina said. You see, when these people leave power, they quickly forget what they have promised us and what they said they are going to do. I want to ask him, I'm sure he will be listening to most dailies today, that how long does it take to build a standard hospital in Nigeria?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's good, and it is bad that before Buhari came into power, he has been using that facility because we don't have facility. So what's the reason for voting him in when after he has left power, he will still go out there and use that facility? So I want to ask Femi Adesina because he's also in the same regime. He works in the same regime. So how long does it take to build a standard facility? Buhari was there for 8 years. Does it mean that for the 8 years he cannot just change that? I'm not trying to accuse the dead or anything, but I'm trying to talk about the statement that Femi Adesina made. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shegun, for your thoughts this morning to us all the way from Maryland. The phone lines are still open: 07000 917 or 9155 917 917. You can equally reach us via our text and WhatsApp line 08155 917 917 0703 175 6537. Okay, let's take the next headline this morning.
Right. Sanwo-Olu vows to prosecute attackers of LASMA officials. The Lagos State government, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, says attackers of the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority officers will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Sanwo-Olu, represented by his deputy, Dr. Obafemi Hamzat, made this known at the second Lagos Traffic Conference in commemoration of LASMA's Silver Jubilee celebration on Tuesday. The anniversary had the theme Enhancing Traffic Efficiency and Safety on Lagos Roads, Challenges, Opportunities, and Innovations. He said, I want to specially recognize the men and women of LASMA who have dedicated themselves, often under challenging and sometimes perilous circumstances, to the critical task of keeping Lagos moving. He also said, your uniform represents the thin yellow line that stands firmly between order and chaos on our roads. Songolu appreciated the many brave officers who had made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. He also said that LASMA of tomorrow would be a technologically empowered agency equipped to tackle the complex challenges of a 21st urban mobility. Lastly, he says that LASMA is not bound to all hurdles before them, which include inadequate growth capacity in the face of urban population growth, driver indiscipline, which remains a key trigger of accidents and congestions, and the consistent right of way among commercial transport operators. The most concerning is public apathy toward uniform traffic personnel. These are structural, behavioral, and systemic challenges.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, Buki, what are your thoughts on this? On the celebration, the conference that they had, and what Somolu, feels about Lagosians' behavior and attitude toward LASMA officers.
Yeah, the conference is good. It comes under stakeholders engagement where everybody talks, and I believe that whatever they say, they will be able to act upon it, and people will be able to talk from different perspectives. I think that brings it home when you talk about the I want to believe that they would have also invited the public also to come and talk about it. Yeah, I mean it's good. Yes, to be honest, somebody in the uniform, you also respect, the uniform. If he wants to prosecute, it's fine, Yeah, but beyond that, we understand the the essence of their work. You know, clear the bottleneck, save lives. Coordinate disaster responses and things like that. And essentially, to just facilitate seamless movement, of goods and services. We do understand that and we appreciate that. But where I want to make our dear governor, to look at peradventure, peradventure, that was not brought to book because I did not see it in the report. It was more of, the last one people are holy, so you have to just respect them and all that. But at the same time, we've also seen areas where, they went out of line. They went out of line in their duties. They also trying to force themselves into vehicles, of moving under the pretense that they are arresting you and things like that. Well, I love the fact that they now want to embrace. They are actually they're embracing technology. I think they want to upgrade, to start using technology, AI, and things like that, which is very good. You understand? They need to do that more and let let's just feel the fact that the LASMA people are not there to harass. Because to be honest, once you see a LASMA person, the brand they have positioned themselves is that they want to harass, which should not be. Even when you do not, particularly for those who are not used to Lagos roads, where are the road signs? Can you start with that? Where are the road signs? Do you know that even LASMA and then the police, there's this kind of collaboration, particularly in some areas. The signs will not be there, but because you do not know your way, once you move into it, before you know what's happening, they're jumping in front of you. What has it done concerning that? Can he begin to ensure that the road signs are there? And when I talk about road signs, I've also seen some signs that are very small, that you hardly notice it when you are driving. Can we make these things very big that people will see? And then also, I have also observed, because it's not there, so maybe the reporters did not report that, but these are areas that I think they should also look at. I don't know if people have noticed that this last one people, they don't go after our downfalls, the public transport owners, their vehicles, but they are very quick for private, and I'm wondering why. At times, these downfalls, whatever, the way they drive recklessly, the maruas, that's a tricycle for those who are not in Nigeria. The way they drive anyhow, they beat the traffic lights. They don't go after them. They don't go after them. And they are supposed to. Well, with the adoption of technology and all that, they should be able to capture, their, what do you call it, their numbers, and go after them, because they are also constituting a nuisance. So while you are trying to tell us, because in a nation, you have the rights and you have the responsibilities. So while you are trying to tell us, your own expectations, also look at it. I want to believe that they should also tell them how they are supposed to relate to the public, because it's critical. We've seen a whole lot of, well, not, don't let me say a whole lot, but we've seen some of them that are very corrupt. You know, yes, you committed the offense, and then of course on the way they're now telling you to settle. Yes, I know Nigerians, we always say to settle, but then if you do not settle, before you know what is happening, they move you into the yard, and the
All
next thing
right.
is that they are harassing you.
Hmm.
So all these things should be looked at. Can we do things like responsible citizens? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Buki. Let's take this call here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm evangelist calling from Oba.
You're welcome.
Yes, my condolence to family of brother and to our president,
Hmm.
Tinubu. And some of us that have advanced a little, I always say what I see, not what people, what people told me. 1994, 84, when this one became president, things really changed. I still remember. Everyone wanted him to continue. Even when he took over as president, that also remember that abandonment of assets, money, asset another because of fear of that man. And people kept on calling this one military and another. And there's a delay also in appointing the minister, because so the minister will slow things down. Everybody was talking and talking and talking. And when he appointed minister, the opposition became quicker, being everything was slowed down. It's a man that was minister of petroleum, no single petroleum was little. Was minister of PCS. He did so many roads. And even when he left as president this ended, I don't think I've never heard that this man has always come from a visit. See, I can see him as a man of integrity. Now, I remember second Niger Bridge, he finished when my cousin in those days, people, anyhow, second Niger Bridge, Lagos Ibadan, so he was one that finished it. I think that's what I personally see him as a good man. I really love my wherever he is going, and he's God now. Where he is, the client of all Nigeria. And all that thing I need to say, Nigerians, Let us love ourselves, love our country.
Mm,
That's how you can build the nation. Let's love ourselves. We don't love our country. And that's why we are building the way we are building. We should always remember whether Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, Muslim, Christian, we all are
mm,
created by God.
mm,
That same parent of Adam and Eve. God doesn't know you as a nation as a Christian. It's because of a lack of understanding we don't study. That's why I think I said, that if we all had that care of God, anywhere we are, we do the right thing, I do the right thing, Nigeria will change for better.
mm,
We are doing the wrong time and we are praying. How can Nigeria change? And God even said before we come to him, she put God to the Holy God. He hates men that relate to one another. Look at houses in Lagos now. You can't rent out. A room now go to 20,000. I think it's the number again. So people are telling me, yes, a bag of cement is 10,000. Is it justify that a three-bedroom flat now will be paying for 3 million? 2 million. Is that what we are doing wicked to one another? How do you know this thing? Tell me, how are we going to pray except God to hear our prayer?
mm,
If someone is good, do good to one another. So if we pray, God said before we pray, we know when we are praying, answer will come. Let us love ourselves and love our country. Anywhere you are, you do in fear of God. Anywhere you are, and that thing will start from you and I. You don't know how you live this world. Only your good work. When good work, that's what it counts for. God is
mm.
it's a matter of as you happen to God, you happen to me, you happen to me, you happen to all of us one day. One will please serve, one will help you serve. God bless you. God bless you.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling this morning, Evangelist Dixon. All right, still it is the full breakfast on your Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. It is 19 minutes past 8, and we have with us our analyst, Buki Femi Ajala. I am Miracle Philip, and
And I am Fumi Bangala. Let's take this message from Barrister Ogo Suji. He says that human, emotional statement, when bereaved ones are gone, rest in peace, is normal, coming from clay footed being on earth, as going by the words of King Solomon in the biblical ecclesiastical statement, Ecclesiastes 3:19. The fate of all sons of men and fate of beast is the same. As one dies, so does the other. So dies the other. And who knows the spirit of man goes upward and that of beasts go down to the earth. The operative language here is live well, as by their good works will they be remembered. Query: are our little Caesars strutting corridors of power thinking that there is no life after power? Leaning and seeing outpours of Nigerians on late Buhari with vitriolics, banters, and badinages. Live well. That's what he says. We have another
yes, that's
from
from Rosenje Olawale. Says, good morning, dear presenter. Nigerians are blessed with brain and beauty and will do better than the whites if given equal opportunities to thrive. If Nigerians get half of the equipment the whites get, it is possible to bring back a dead man to life. We keep electing people of questionable characters and expect all to be well and good. If the likes of Peter Obi, Tinubu, Atiku, Kwankwaso, Amechi, and other politicians who have been in the corridors of power from 1960 till date have been probed, Nigeria might not get to this ailing stage. Imagine Abba Moro being voted into the Senate and we are clamoring for changes. Let's continue to they play. Bad followers will never produce good leaders. Nigeria will survive. Allah bless Nigeria. All right, it is right now 21 minutes past 8 on your Women Radio 91.7, Nigeria's first and only radio station for women and their families. It is the full breakfast, and of course, this particular segment, the newspaper review. We have with us Buki Femi Angela. And just as we wrap up, Buki, your final thoughts to Nigerians this morning.
Okay, so what are my final thoughts? Well, let me flow with the season. We all had the public holiday yesterday. I think if you're in Nigeria, there was a public holiday yesterday. Can we begin to reflect, on ourselves, I mean, let's leave the people who are dead. We also have Vijale, and I mean, their deeds, follow them. But can we just reflect on ourselves? And for me, it's not even about the government. It's about every one of us. We have what we do. We have our spheres of influence, either you're in the public or you're in the private space. Whatever you do, you're a teacher, you're a soldier, whatever it is, you are doing something, right? Can you make impact? Can you sit down to reflect on yourself that what can people say, about me? What are the good things, can people say about me? It could be as small as, oh, you sent someone to school, you helped, that widow, right? You help that widow. There are many, many little things that we can do. We don't have to do the big things because we don't even have the resources. Like somebody donating 200 wheelchairs. But in your own little way, what can you do? That person who does not like maths, but you know that he or she has to pass maths, and you know maths. Can you sort that out? I'm just trying to bring the little things that we can do in terms of spending time, to advise even the youths and things like that. I mean, that's just my own parting shot. And at the end of the day, can we make Nigeria great? The way we do things, in Nigeria. Everything we do affects the brand of Nigeria in our own individual shelves. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Buki Femi Ajalan. Thank you so much for finding time to be right here with us on the newspaper review on Women Radio 91.7. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. And let's have a beautiful day. Thank you.
All right, so this is where we get to wrap it up right here on the full breakfast. I want to say especially is thank you, big thank you to you, full breakfast family and newspaper review family right here on Women Radio 91.7. Thank you always for being a part of our conversations. Of course, we'll be keeping tabs with the various activities across the nation, and we'll be back tomorrow, same time at 7:30 to get to review the papers together. Especially, I say thank you also for being a major part of this program, because without you, we will not be here. Thank you so much, Fumi, for being a part of the program.
Thank you, Miracle. Thank you.
Yes, and coming up at 9 will be the news at 9. At 9:05 will be Heartlands, where ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, disagree on topical conversations. I am Miracle Philip.
And I am Fumi Bangala.
Enjoy the rest of your day. Good morning. And also, especially, I say thank you to our production assistant, Oreoluwa Owolabi, and the executive producer, Tomo Okewale Shunaya. Special thanks to them for putting the full breakfast together. Good morning.
Here we stand as a people with one song, with one voice. We're a nation undivided.